So this is Johnny Dangerous here in Portland, Oregon. The march is just departing the park right now. We'll see where it is going.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
They are trying to take her out. So this is Johnny Dangerous reporting live in Portland, Oregon. March is just departing the park, going to its location. Let people know, spread the word. It's a Black Lives Matter march departing Peninsula Park, and unsure for sure where it's going. It's around dusk time right now, starting to get dark. Pretty sizable crowd. You can see, you can hear some clapping. There's a neighbor cheering people on. Here to chant, say his name, George Floyd. You can hear a couple different chants now. You can see some of the wall of moms near the front of the march here that I'm showing you. So I'm going to jump over here to the front so you can get a little bit better view. So bear with me. So I'll likely have a couple live streams tonight. I'll be trying to take some photos as well. Thanks for joining, supporting the local organizers and activists on the ground, but also the local media that's been here. I've only been here for approaching 2 weeks. They've been here day after day, and I very much appreciate their excellent work. So right around 9 o'clock local time, if you're watching the East Coast, midnight where you are. If you do go to sleep, make sure to check the live streams that people put up. A lot of police brutality and incidents happen after people have gone to sleep in the Midwest or on the East Coast. Some if you're near the front of the march. It's a pretty sizable one. Just left the park right as I started this stream a couple minutes ago. So let me know where you're watching from, where you're showing your solidarity and support. Make sure to support, like I said, the organizers and activists on the ground that's been sustaining this protest, and the local journalists who have been here since day one. Looks like we are now crossing a highway. Heard it's not going to be too long of a march, so we'll see where it ends up. Yeah, basically everybody's masked up at all of these. 95%. Right before I started my feed, there was a chant, "Whose streets are streets?" and it quickly turned into "Whose streets stolen land. Whose streets, stolen land. So. Yeah, if you're watching this, hit the share button, smash the heart, the like button, and start a watch party. Have 5, 10, 20 friends watch, some of which who maybe have heard some misinformation about what's going on, and they can just see firsthand and get a truthful view. So those watch parties help because it will send a notification to your friends who may not be getting good information. Maybe they're listening to the right-wing media or something, and they can just see firsthand. And that can do a lot of good. So as John Lewis said, people are engaging in some good trouble here. I'm gonna get a little bit of a different view here. Go on the opposite side of the march here.
No prison, total abolition. No prison, total abolition. No prison, total abolition.
So earlier today, I posted, actually about a half an hour ago, there's a special committee session for the state legislature, and they're going to be looking at several bills in Oregon. They have the majorities to pass them. So there's information on how to call in or email to show your support. One of the bills would regulate the use of tear gas, sound like LRAD, and munitions they shoot at people. So you can find that information right in my profile. Here we go, backed up a little bit. So it's starting to get a little bit more dark here. This looks like a more well-lit area than the other day. I do see several photojournalists, it looks like, with some nice cameras here, so that's good. So I'm going to come back around here. So I always try to show you a couple different views of the march. Tough to say, people were kind of streaming into the park all the way until we left. So I think once people stop where we're going, we'll have a good idea how many people. Pretty good sized crowd though. I'm just showing you the front here. We got some ACLU legal observers again. It's like a couple live streamers up here near the front. It's a little bit up and down route. So a little bumpy on the feed. So you can hear the chants, "No good cops in a racist system," by the Wall of Moms grouping there at the front and the rest of the crowd. You can see a couple more green hats over there, legal observers from NLG. So if you're doing Black Lives Matter marches, rallies, gatherings in your area, post a link below. Share those photos, let other folks know. They're going on. I know a lot of the local medias may be covering them, but you know, post them here and people will see. Let people know what you're doing in your area. So getting a little bit darker. There's some tree overhang cover. So I'm just showing the front of the march, give or take. You can hear the people in the back though. Well, maybe in the middle. You may not be able to see, but there's a couple neighbors that are going with the chants Black Lives Matter as well as we pass their houses. So definitely several different various groups here in support at the Black Lives Matter March. There's people providing safety on the roads, legal observers, media, more frontline folks. You can see the wall of moms, definitely some families, all ages here. So I heard the other day a couple people commenting that they didn't like this chant. Now, I would ask you if you have been shot with tear gas and munitions, friends of yours have been arrested, you know, that's the perspective you kind of got to have. Agree or disagree, just keep that in your mind. And this is the Wall of Moms leading that chant, so tell you kind of the extent of what's been going on here. So, a lot of trees on this kind of side of the road. There's a couple vehicles, so I can't really just trail right behind easily. So I'll be going in and out of showing the crowd here. It's now dusk nearing dark, so it's going to be a little bit harder to see. If the feed, when I do shut this feed down, I will be back later. Wherever we go, we'll probably be there for a little bit. So at some point I'll shut the feed down and I'll be back later. Several people on bicycles, support vehicles. Make sure, you know, somebody has water, things like that. And of course there's medics here. That's good to see. If anybody gets injured, they're ready to provide assistance. So I'd say we'd probably marched about 5-6 blocks. Like I said, march taking up the road, so I don't want to block anybody when they're marching. So sometimes we gotta go down, come back up. So thanks for watching. This is Johnny Dangers live in Portland. This is a Black Lives Matter march from a park north, about a couple miles north of the area of the Justice Center and the federal courthouse that you're going to be more familiar with if you're not from Portland. You could see a big flag up there. So, go up here, see what she's talking about here. Are there cops up here? No, yeah. So it doesn't sound like there are cops up here yet. Obviously, good chance, you know, we're gonna see them probably somewhat soon. So, like I said, it's Johnny Dangers live in Portland, Oregon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the people here on the ground, where you are, supporting Black Lives Matter, and supporting all the local journalists who have been here much longer than I have been. I've been here nearing 2 weeks. They've been here for 60 plus days. Today is day 69 by the people who have been here on the ground. Day 69 of sustained protests here in Portland, Oregon. I'm about half a block in front of the march now. Looks like they're regrouping, taking a break. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. You can hear Ted Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, who is kind of an acting police commissioner. There's a committee, and he's the head of that. And for the first 50 days of this protest, there was tear gas and munitions used by local police, and national media has not really explained that. It was happening long before the feds were here. The protests obviously were about the police before any of that happened in the first place. As the Portland State University professor said about a week ago, 365 people have been shot and killed by the police in Oregon since '92, and 165 of those people have been here in the Portland directly. So it's a lot of people, it's a lot of brutality. And just since the protests began, there's, as of 2-3 weeks ago, 60 documented cases of police brutality, but the feds came here. There's just injured, scores and scores of injured people every single day. Those numbers, we'll never know how many people were injured. From minor things to major things. There was an Oregonian article the other day that said, that talked to 8 different people who had major injuries, many of them head injuries. You could find that on their website. So, a lot going on. March is still halted currently, I think just to regroup. So I'm going to go up the road just a second. So this feed, I will shut it down at some point, and then I'll be back later. So if you don't already follow me, do that. Make sure you do that with the other live streamers or photojournalists or journalists who are also covering this tonight. And if you do want to get a reminder, you can click follow, you click that and you click see first. And you can do that with any page or group or a friend you follow. And you'll get a little notification when I go live or I have a post or something like that. So we are in Portland. We're several miles north of, a couple miles north and a little bit east of the Justice Center and the Federal Courthouse, where many of my streams have gone, where you've seen many of the, that's the general protest area. But long before that, obviously people have protests all around the city. I went to one from Laurelhurst Park a couple days ago. We saw late into the night, approaching 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30, police came out, they rushed the crowd. So we'll see what happens. Looks like the crowd is, the march is moving again. 365 people have been murdered by police since 1992, just in Oregon. That was by, I'm fairly sure he's a Black Studies professor, but he's a professor at Portland State. He's on my live stream from maybe about a week ago. So as I always do, you can see what's happening on the ground as it happens. So march is moving again. Like I said, there's legal observers here, medics, press, people helping with traffic. It's a pretty organized march. I'm gonna go on this far side. Looks like there's a nice spot for me to stand. Looks like a main road here. So here's the front of the march. So I'm now on the left side of the march. Should lighten up. We have some street lights coming up here. If you missed yesterday, there was a lady who stabbed a anti-fascist Black Lives Matter activist, a protester at the park. That protester went to the hospital. She looks like she's okay, as much as you can, but she did. The person who got stabbed did think that they were aiming for her heart, which is really effed up. So you can see we're by some lights now, so you can see a little bit better. So if you're watching this, share it out. If you don't share a lot of stuff on Facebook, when you're watching a video, you can click share and it'll say start watch party. And when you're doing a watch, you click watch party and it'll alert your friends that you're watching a video. You can watch it with them. And that lets people that may not have the same political views as you see a little bit about what's happening in Portland or something else going on unfiltered. So you may be able to change their mind. You may bring some trolls to the feed too, but it's important we try to, people organize and, you know, we try to do that. And that's a simple thing you can do. Okay, I'm gonna double up forward a little bit. So I'm going up the road a little bit and then I'll give it a shot. So there's some of the march is now in front. So we've probably gone about 8-9 blocks, I'd say. So if you're watching, put a Black Lives Matter chant in the feed. Important to stay focused. Anytime there's maybe a person that's disrupting from a speaker or something, people will do a Black Lives Matter chant. Everybody's very focused at the protest. They're very centered around Black Lives Matter. And that's important. I think that people are pretending that that's not the case, and it really is. So you can hear Quanice Hayes. He's a young man who was killed by the police a couple years ago. You've seen some of the stencil drawings, the spray paint I've shown. Also another young man, Patrick Kimmins, was killed. There's a couple people with, you know, bikes, making sure that traffic is good during the march. So you can hear people always calling for justice for George Floyd, justice for Breonna Taylor, no justice, no peace. There's a lot of chants, but they all focus around Black Lives Matter. I think that's important. You know, being here, that's really clear. So. So we've reached this fence. You can see there's lots of signs and messages attached. So I'm going to show you some of them, and then I'll double back to the march. You can see "Make Racism Wrong Again," Black Lives Matter, lots of flowers. Here's a quote from John Lewis. "We have been too quiet for too long. There comes a time when you have to say something. You have to make a little noise. You have to move your feet. Now is the time." John Lewis. So I'm going to double back around, catch up with the march. So walking through a dark sidewalk now. You can see those are mini signs that have been put over the last couple of weeks on a fence in an abandoned lot. Lots of signs here. Lots of flags. We're going through several different neighborhoods. So I'm gonna kind of get back to the front of the march here. You can hear the "No justice, no peace." Almost there to the front now. So thanks for joining. Be back in about 5-10 seconds. Okay, back again. Time is 9:35 local time. March departed right about 9:30. You can see some people on their stoops putting out, going with the chants right from their own homes. I'm about back to the front of the march here. I'll be able to show you where we have some light. Here we go. So I'm gonna go up to the other side of the street here where I can. So get a little bit different perspective so then everybody can see here. So there's a vehicle on the one side, so you can only see a little bit of the march when I turn back around here. Okay, that's really bright. So I'm just gonna narrate what's happening for a little bit. So the march departed about 10, 11, 12 blocks back from the park. Took a break. It's a little bit spread out in the front, and it's slowed down. So there's a truck in the front helping keep the pace, and that vehicle is very bright lights there. So I'll hold up and we'll get a little bit better view of what's going on. And I think we will be approaching where we're going pretty shortly. So let me know where you're watching from, where you're showing your support, and make sure you support where you live, the organizers that are on the ground doing the work. And I've said every live stream I do, I've only been here now about 2 weeks, but there are journalists have been on the ground for day 69 the entire time. Very tired, unheralded work, so make sure you support them in their work because they're doing an excellent job. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other side of the street and see if we can get away from the very bright headlights. Like I said, it's day 69 of sustained Black Lives Matter protests here in Portland, Oregon. If you are from Oregon, tomorrow there's going to be a special legislative grouping. You can email or call in to pass several bills. Show your support for passing them. So hold up for a second, I'm gonna plug my battery in here. If you have any questions when you're watching, just post them in the comments below. A lot of times I will see them afterwards and try to get to them after the fact. Sometimes I'll see them when we're live, but it's hard. can hear some percussion here. So thanks for watching, supporting the movement. It's a pretty brisk pace, so I'm just trying to get you a couple different angles. So there's several people you'll see out on their stoops showing their support. A couple days ago I didn't see anybody that was voicing not support from their stoop. If I do shut down my feed, keep an eye out for future feeds. If you lose the signal, just go off the page, search Johnny Dangerous, and pull it up, and the feed will still be there. That happens to some people. So, looks like we're approaching a gas station up here. So thanks for joining. Hard to do streams on these marches, it's tight. I don't want to in any way get in front of anybody that's marching or slow them down, obviously. So you can see, filling up the whole road. Sizable march, people spread out. Approaching probably over a mile now of marching. So yesterday, if people didn't know, my live stream mentioned the photos. I took a few photos of a couple embracing, kissing at the park. Yesterday I learned, they told me that they had gotten married yesterday. And right before I arrived at the park, there was a stabbing where a lady who appeared to be white stabbed an Black Lives Matter protester. Person went to the hospital. They are in stable condition. They said that they're okay. Later there was an incident where they cook. And police came out, state troopers. First time I've seen state troopers in any number with some big guns. And there's some incident, they shot off some rounds of pepper bullets. Then they left, and then folks played some basketball late last night. So I'm gonna set up on the other side of the street here. It's like this 7-Eleven. Show you some of the march. Coming around the corner here. Like I said, there's a truck, it's real bright light, so tough to get some angles. That's kind of what's going on. So you can see it's really well lit here, so you get a nice shot of So march continues onward here. So I'm gonna double up, go to the front of the march again here. Been going pretty brisk pace the last couple blocks. Looks like it's about halting here. Are there a couple more ACLU folks out here?
Yep.
Or, okay.
Yep, there's 2 more.
I think I just saw you, so
Okay.
I figured they were, I just didn't see them. So you can hear the march is halted. Sounds like there's a couple NLG, couple ACLU. There's medics. This is a pretty well organized march. So people seem to be regrouping, so let you know. So march left, it's going to be gone a little bit over a mile, I'd estimate. It's gone a little bit over a mile from the park. Probably marching for about 30-35 minutes. So you can see the open road ahead here. So I'm going to shut the feed down now. I'll be back in a little bit. I think we're close to our destination, if I had to guess, from the feel of the crowd. So if you want to get the notification, just where you click follow right directly on my page, you can click see first. Otherwise, check in a couple minutes, 5, 10, 30 minutes, and you'll see when I go live again. Anyways, thanks for supporting Black Lives Matter and the protests where you are and here in Portland. Went over a couple of the events that have happened last couple days. The feds, they have not made appearance the last couple days, but word is they're still in town. State troopers did make an appearance yesterday to an incident, and then riot police showed up, left pretty quickly, about 10-15 minutes after they showed up. That's on my feed yesterday. So this is Johnny Dangers reporting in Portland, Oregon, day 69 of sustained protest, Black Lives Matter protests. March is halted for now. We'll see where it goes, and I'll be back live shortly. So approaching 10 p.m. local time. Black Lives Matter.